Absolutely. So Hannibal and Jericho, you eventually meet up with Aelin and are probably able to drag her away from the hospital at some point. But I do want to talk to Aelin real quickly about this hospital and this scene going on here. Um, so Aelin, as you begin helping the people, a lot of people are coming in with general scrapes, bruises, bumps, etc., etc. Some, like blunt force trauma from like contusions or collapsing buildings and that kind of stuff. But there is a couple of people who are coming in with these garish injuries, where it looks like parts of their body have just been dissolved away. Um, and when you're treating one of these individuals, when you attempt to heal them, um, you can tell there is magic at work within the injury that they have that is stopping it from like regenerating, or stopping the skin from covering it up, or the blood from clotting and that kind of stuff. um but there is something magical at work there. How would you address that kind of environment, knowing that it, if you try and actually heal these people, like actually heal them with your magic, you're going to be found? Because remember, everybody that you're surrounded by is either an enemy or a servant of an enemy.
Yeah, and
Like you have to do things manually, or
absolutely, and she knows that she wouldn't be just throwing her magic around, but
I
so
mean,
can you describe the person specifically in front of me with this injury?
sure. It is probably a woman. She looks perhaps middle aged. Looks to be either a midwife or some other mid level servant, based on her appearance and clothing. Her injuries probably cover the right hand side of her body, from her right shoulder down to perhaps her hip level. It looks like the skin has all kind of melted and burned away, and you can actually see down to the bone, probably like along her, like right where the bone of your shoulder is the thinnest, or right where the flesh on your shoulder is the thinnest. You can see down to the shoulder bone. um and it's been like bandaged, and there's like big wrappings on it, but yeah, she's in a lot of pain. She's probably complaining of constant pain. Uh but overall, her injuries are probably not life threatening, but they are life changing, certainly.
Yeah, uh, I think Aelin would do her normal Aelin thing and converse with her about just her normal nurse bedside manner of, while she's healing or helping her, like wrapping her arm and leg and etc. Ask her about how she received her injury, trying to be as specific as possible. I know she's in a lot of pain. I'm sure I know enough about uh, like natural means of which to reduce pain rather than actual magical ones.
Yeah. um so your answers are filtered through this barrier that she's erected to try and like block the pain. She's almost in like a permanent state of shock, perhaps.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of a weird filter of not all quite the right information. But what you're able to gather is that she was preparing um a late snack for the daughter of a Norse couple that she serves. And the daughter was there, and she went to, when she heard the roof collapsing and all of the burning and smelling, she went to protect the daughter, and that's how she got splashed with all of the acid. Um, and you can probably see, if like you push on that subject, she motions in the direction of the waiting area, probably outside, where you can see there's a Norse woman who's carrying like maybe like a 3 or 4 year old daughter on her hip. Um and she's kind of just like bouncing her, keeping her calm, and you can see like the daughter clearly hasn't slept. like is bug-eyed and wide. And then probably a little further back, you can see there's a Norse man who's got like a big old battle axe on his back, and he's talking with a couple of other Norsemen. They're clearly having some kind of conversation. But the woman and the daughter are looking in the direction of the bedside that you're at.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the answer, but wanting to continue the conversation anyway, I think Aelin would point over there, just say, "Are those the people that you got this injury to save?"
Yeah, and I think that she looks over and she nods and she says, "Ah, yes, that is, yes, that is, that is young Alof. She is a good girl."
I'm certain she is. I wish there was more I could do for you, but this is all I am able to.
Yeah, and she nods and kind of winces in pain as she like rests her head back, because maybe like a little bit of spots on her neck or something that kind of crack open when she moves around. She says, "I hope that I am able to return to my duties soon. Alof's father is a very busy man." And she kind of like trails off and falls into slumber.
Yeah, Aelin would take that as her cue, obviously.
Yeah, and maybe you stand up from that and, you know, wipe off your hands, and you see Hannibal and Jericho like kind of looking around for you, and they perhaps see you at that time. And the hour has grown quite late, also.
Where were you?
But she was here, obviously.
Did we find the information we were looking for?
Yep.
Some of it.
So do we know how to fix the problem?
That's probably something that, well, yes. We've got ideas. We should probably discuss it with the others.
Great. I'm glad to hear it was a success.
Really horrifying. How was your afternoon, though?
He kind of like gestures over her shoulder. Says, "Yes,
So
horrifying
comparable.
is a good
Right.
way. It's a good way to explain it. I'll explain more when we're not standing in the street."
Yeah. So the three of you begin to head back. So Farron and Obek, you guys probably arrive slightly before the rest of the group. And I think that there's probably a secret knock or something, some indication, so that the women inside don't immediately kill you, as they're like to do. So you give the signal.
Why is my entire life trying to not be killed by women?
I don't know, man. That's
Did you notice the character that you made?
Right?
yeah. I mean, you did. Yeah, that's a fair point. You did kind of bring that on yourself.
You basically picked that as your background.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Every woman he's ever met wants him dead, except for Morella. She just wants to scar him for life.
Yeah, Morella.
She wants him dead on the inside.
Morella arguably has done far more damage than any woman ever has to Farron. So you enter in, and you can see that Kira and Malia and Daniela are all they're probably like they've probably set up one of the pallets, and they have maybe like a little lantern going just so they have a little bit of light, not too much so it's not like seen from the outside. And they appear to have found like a deck of cards, and they're like playing some card game. And it's late at night, and you walk in, and they kind of give you the up nod as you come in, and Obek as well as you come in.
Are we the first ones back then?
I think Malia says, yes, you are.
Hey.
Which means you get to make dinner.
I will gladly make some dinner. Bet you'll love it.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust a lizard's palate.
They mostly eat things raw, so
Quite delicious.
Like your feet.
right,
Like your feet.
correct.
Yeah.
Has Obek stopped looking at Farron's foot at any time?
I mean, they're basically
No.
like pig's feet, right?
No, the
Like,
answer is no.
they're basically like pig feet. That's a delicacy in some places. So you enter in, and the door closes behind you, and after you're inside for a while, you don't see Garulda anywhere, or at least in like the common area that you guys are currently in. Baron, do you say anything about that?
I think I just. So how's our little angel been then?
I think that they say they probably say, oh well, Daniela probably says he gave us a bit of trouble, but we were able to show him the the proper way to handle complaints.
I think I've been on the back end of that.
And
a
yeah,
few
you
times
see
myself.
Kara and Malia just like snicker into their hands of cards. And maybe you go into the back room and you see that he's been hogtied with his legs kicked up behind him and his hands behind his head. And you can see there's like a piece of cloth that's like shoved into his mouth.
Yeah. How long has it been since you showed him the error of his ways?
Daniela like looks outside and she's like, it must have been at least 3 bells by now.
Yeah.
Literally immediately.
I mean, oh god. Nope, I leave him there. I'm not going to incur potential wrath of.
Two very strong women.
The trio of soldiers. Like the only actual professional soldiers in our entire group.
Correct.
I mean,
So I think that
You're a hobbyist.
next to return is probably Morella. Morella, do you remember the secret knock?
I mean, I would imagine so.
Okay. I didn't know if you just like walked in. Okay. So yeah, you give the indication and you come in, and the 3 women are probably like still playing cards of some sort. Maybe you've joined them by now, Farron. It's basically like a hardcore version of Go Fish. It may or may not involve a knife at some point.
If you don't have what somebody's asking for, you get stabbed.
Right, exactly. Or like it's probably a bluffing game that if you fail the bluff, if somebody calls you on your bluff, then you have to prick your finger or something.
Oh, so it's bullshit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Bullshit with knives.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, sounds great.
You
so,
said it like there is other way to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Farron, can you actually roll me a deception check? Since it's a game of bullshit. I want to see how many pricks on your fingers there are. Almost
Nice.
none.
Nice.
Yeah, you pick up the game very quickly, probably because it's a Kislevite game. The Spear Maidens probably are teaching it to Daniela, who is like rapidly getting a bit frustrated because she's brutally honest. Oh my god, that was loud. Like rapidly getting frustrated because she's like brutally honest. So, Marilla, you arrive to this scene.
Yeah, and she just simply looks over and says, "Having fun?"
I'm certainly coming out the winner in these last few bouts.
That seems to be your forte, isn't it?
I did my job as I was asked to, so now I can relax.
I'm sure you'll divulge when the rest come back. Because I assume at this point she would have been looking around to see who else is here, seeing as Farron and Quebec are the other ones. And yeah, she just simply sits down in another chair, not at the same table that they're at, and just. She seems like she's contemplating heavily on something. I don't know. That's it.
Does no one say anything to Marilla about that? Okay, good.
Nope.
So next to arrive,
Farron just doesn't want to.
Next to arrive is the trio of malcontents.
Aelin being the worst delinquent.
Yes, obviously. Who probably have been. I assume you guys have remained fairly silent. You all had the group of you had a pretty taxing day. Emotionally and mentally, perhaps, whereas Morella's was perhaps a little bit more physically taxing. So you guys arrive and you do the secret knock and you enter as well, and everybody's kind of made it back to the hovel. The three of you that just arrived, what do you do when you come in?
So we need to talk.
Yeah. Jericho's going to go directly to check on Garulda.
Garulda has probably been unhogtied now, but is still bound. But in more of a comfortable position to sleep in.
What have you been doing with the teenage boy?
I think that Kira, the halfling, she goes, "And what exactly is it to you? You didn't have to watch him all day."
I just want to know what's been going on here. This is unsettling thing to find in my room.
Well, he's been quite ambivalent since we instructed him in the correct ways of voicing a complaint.
Wonderful. Yes, I'm sure this is really winning him over. All right. Fine. Is he awake or asleep at this point?
He's probably like, he's probably got his eyes closed and like trying to fall asleep, but not quite there. So he's awake.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jericho will say apologetically, "Sorry, I'll be back in a minute," and then close that so they can discuss as a party.
Yeah, sure. So, what do you discuss?
So we might have found a way to get Garulda out.
No.
Well, we might have found a person who thinks they have a way.
Yes, Doc
I
Manning.
want to overstate things.
Also, he's planning on giving me a new face.
Well, I mean, I think he's planning to take someone else's face and give it to you.
That.
Similar, but not quite the same thing, in that it's horrifying, and I'm not a fan of the idea.
Hey, now let's not be judgmental. We don't know their orc ways.
Yeah, I don't think he's giving you an orc face, or, his face, or anything. I'm pretty sure he's not looking for volunteers on this.
Well, that's not important right now.
It actually is immensely important. for a variety of
Anyways.
reasons that I don't think I should have to go into. I think they should be obvious. Anyone, literally anyone, back me up on this. We're not just letting him give someone else's face to Hannibal.
Of course not. Now, what did you learn?
Aelin doesn't get an opinion on
Thank
that.
you.
Hannibal, what did
You cut out there.
Yeah, you cut out.
I said? Hannibal, what did you learn?
Dark Manic has the skills. I believe he has the skills to remove Gerulda, and he's not too fond of it.
Of course,
give him
whether
the-
he's got any interest in leaving anyone else alive, or what he intends to do with Gerulda, or what he intends to do with the knowledge that he might get from this process, is all a bit up in the air.
Well, we're certainly not just handing him over to him. And she means
Can't
the
see
boy.
what that would get us at all now.
Good.
I'm gonna get him to lower his guard, something like that. And if we possibly set up an ambush for when Gerulda is taken out,
Well, what did he say exactly he was going to do to her? Did he mention?
I get the impression he thought there was a certain amount of trial and error to go.
But he was rather certain she was still in there. There was a way to get her out. Will she come back? Anything?
oh, he was certain he could do it. But
And
again,
was
only
certain
that he
she's
could.
in there, that she's hiding and resting right now.
In the boy. Killing him is not a great idea.
Well, I could have told you
Shocking,
that.
at least one person.
All that will happen is that she'll come out and find a new.
So what I'm getting at is that we know where Doc Manic is going to be. Correct?
That we do.
Finally, someone listens.
I haven't disagreed with you on that point.
Yeah, let's do this. All we need to do is get the boy to him. He will extract Gerulda. Then we move in.
That sounds like a plan.
This sounds like
Fair.
a plan that involves first letting him get demonic backup from people who will know all of you on sight.
Not exactly. He hasn't seen my real face. And if you get in disguise, we can possibly pose us breaking him out.
Right, so that's two of us. I don't like the idea of two of us versus him and Gerulda.
Are we able to possibly get them in position beforehand? We can tell them where he is, and they can already be over there waiting to meet.
They can just follow us. I could make most of them invisible pretty easily.
That'd be perfect.
Farron and Obek, what did you learn?
I
They had matching bowler hats.
I as we may have guessed, the south gate seems to be the most heavily guarded. The north gate, whilst not particularly guarded itself, on the other side is another army of purely demonic beasts.
You do not want to see behind the north gate.
Another army.
Yes.
An entire army.
Yes.
This sounds interesting. What were the members
Well,
like?
the fact that they're on the outside is good.
The
Yeah.
west gate isn't very well guarded, but of course in that direction is the marshes, which makes it difficult to move an entire army through it. But I suppose if you could find a way to cross a 300-foot gap, then the east gate is your best, as there's absolutely no one guarding that at all. So take your pick.
Did you learn anything else while you were out?
Our job was to try to find which gate to enter from.
Very well. The other lieutenant is dead. I dealt with him.
That really? That was swift.
He did not put up a fight for some odd reason.
That doesn't seem like the kind of thing you would want in a demonic lieutenant ruling over a city. Any
Right.
chance you'd be willing to take the time to sort of walk us through how that happened?
Well, I searched,
No.
found him, was lying in wait, got attacked by a shadowy demon of sorts. Repelled it. He came forth. I quelled him. And that's all that happened. And then I came back here.
Well, you've got a knack for storytelling. I've got to admit that much. It's like I was there. Jericho is looking around to the others to see if anyone else who maybe knows Morella better than he does now, he has to admit, thinks that this is in any way strange.
Right? Seems legit.
No, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, seems alright.
Pretty typical.
Yeah.
Pretty typical.
Perfect.
You might as well. That's like on the level of asking, did Hannibal burn down the...
Yeah, did Hannibal burn something down today? The answer is always yes.
Always.
By the way, I plan on burning down your hovel before...
Honestly, that's probably the only way of getting it clean.
I think Daniela probably is lost in thought, and she looks at Farron and she says, "You said that there was a gap in the bridge. What's caused that?" As far as I was aware, the Middenheim bridges are one of the most sturdy objects in all of existence.
It wasn't an accident. It was a desperation move.
Oh. I'm
Cutting off
sorry.
an invading force.
I was
The
unaware.
Skaven.
Yes, I guess I have heard of that, but I did not know the exact details surrounding it.
Not an easy thing to patch. Not something that I could bridge with a teleportation circle. Not more for a few than for a few seconds, anyway.
No, but it is something that can be done. This level of destruction.
I admit I don't know the engineering that was involved.
See.
Anyways. Not to my surprise, he told me the location of Anders.
This is a very helpful demon who you met, gave you a quick tour, and then stood there while you slaughtered him.
So it seems.
You're not thinking trap at any point in this process.
If there was a trap, then there was no way for me to get out of it.
Well, no, I'm saying that this could be the trap part. This part now where he's pointed you in a direction.
I had a very good hunch that his answer was where I believed Anders would be, which is the palace.
Certainly,
So
I'm
again,
suggesting that maybe they're more prepared for this than we'd like them to be.
perhaps. I didn't ask that question of how prepared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Heat of the moment seemed to have caught me.
All right, now, how exactly do we think we're going to be able to get Garulda to Doc Manic?
Well,
without drawing more
the
attention
easiest
than you'd
way.
like.
The easiest way, probably to knock him out.
It might be also easier to stage a fake rescue.
I think you see when you say knock him out. I think you see Kira and Malia just like turn each other, nod, and then like get up and start walking over there.
Sorry, I know. Look, I may not actually have the
Don't
title
mind.
professor in front of my name or anything, but head injuries aren't actually just something that you can hand out like that.
Also, I believe he mentioned something about it not being a good idea to place these guys in dangerous situations. Didn't he say something like that? Like how
We do think that he still has a demon inside him.
like I think they said that she can still defend herself or something like that. Sorry, Jordan. Can't
No.
remember.
She's not powerless. You're correct. She's not
Yeah.
powerless.
So I say she could still do something. So it might be better to go along with the pretext of rescuing him, taking him to a safe place.
We're going to tell him that we're rescuing him?
Yes.
All right, that I
He
can
doesn't-
sell.
He doesn't know my face either. He only knows the mask.
I'm not sure he's going to find your presence comforting.
Well, I'm doing it.
Look, I can handle this part, at the very least.
All right.
Cool. So from what I understand, the plan is you're going to fake rescue the kid, head over to Doc Mannix. The rest of the party's going to go separately, and then I assume that there will be some sort of initiation, and then we'll see about killing everything and everything.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where we were running with it?
Also, I might be getting.
You know your
close.
party.
Okay, good. So was this something that you were planning on doing tonight? When
not?
we talk about that plan, what's the timeline here? Okay, so Hannibal said, "Why not?"
Yeah, I mean, is there anything important that we got to do?
Well, apparently the other lieutenant's already dead, so we've just got these two to handle. I'm still a bit curious. Daniela, you're talking about how they broke the bridge. Something come to mind?
Perhaps nothing. Certainly not something I think we can accomplish, but they said this host is on the other side of one of them. It occurs to me that circumnavigating the city would be far harder than riding up through it.
Breaking another bridge would certainly be more definitive than just sealing the doors behind them.
She just kind of like shrugs and almost seems like she's not embarrassed is the right word, but like hesitant because they are these marvelous wonders of dwarven technology, and breaking them might.
We've got 2 more.
True. You have 2 more. Because like that has lasting implications beyond a battle, right? Like that's an entire trade route that can't be used anymore.
We don't need to shatter the entire thing, but if we could, well, interrupt them in some way. It's a fair point. Worth keeping in mind. I suppose Doc Manic isn't expecting us back too quickly, for that matter. Not to foil anyone's anticipation for the evening, but if we reappear with the boy that quickly, that might cause some suspicion on his part. Admittedly, wouldn't matter once he was dead, but might complicate getting to that point.
However, I'm a little bit worried about the fact of news spreading of Chain's death.
Fair.
If we do that, if we wait too long, he might get a little too defensive about these 2 random people that he'd never seen before.
So it seems like we can't wait too long, but we have to act quickly.
Oh, the inevitable struggle.
Want to flip a coin?
Unless we have something else pressing, I think our time in this city is probably limited enough that we better get everything done while we can. If we can resolve this, get at least one of them dead, and hopefully the other one dealt with, then we can focus on opening and sealing gates.
Agreed. I believe we should hurry.
I agree as well. I'm getting restless staying here.
Any objections then? Concerns? Suggestions?
Aelin, Morella looks a little bit more pale than normal. Seems like some of the color has left her skin.
Morella, would you mind just a brief moment if I could run a few tests? You look a little, I don't know, pale. Did you get some sort of, and she's already like walking over, doing the whole like once over of her. Did you get some sort of injury during your spat today?
Yeah. And she just nods. She's like, well, the demon that did put up a fight though it cowardly ran away.
Wait, so he saw your face?
He did, Hannibal.
Are you
You don't
talking
have
about
to
the
be
shadow or the one that you killed?
Technically both, but one's dead, so
Hopefully.
Also, can I do a medicine check?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that what Morella seems to be experiencing, is, for lack of a better term, like lack of oxygen in the blood, which is, obviously not really discernible from just like observing. But there are no physical injuries anywhere. But it seems like her power has been drained a little bit. And I assume, Morella, you described the attacks that you took, right?
correct.
Yeah, so you know that some like maybe unnatural force was at work there, damaging Morella, because the fingers and claws like pass right through her, and were like
Yeah.
ripping at parts of like her body as a whole, as opposed to like physical attacks against armor and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Can Obek
Let me try
Go.
a thing or two before we go anywhere.
What would you like
If
to do,
don't
Obek?
mind.
can Obek just go to the windows and look outside?
Absolutely, Obek can go to the windows outside. So Obek, as you go to the windows and you look outside, the only light you can really see is from behind you, the very, very dim lantern, and then the lights like kind of off in the distance. The wind itself is fairly dark, but you, as you're staring outside, the hovel's kind of set by itself, and then there's a large building like just to the west of the hovel, that kind of serves as like a storage area. And then there's like a long roadway that goes all the way down and then up north some more. And then there's some other buildings like directly in front and some buildings behind. But down that long roadway, because the hovel's kind of on like a corner, down the long roadway, you see there might be some movement off in the shadows in that direction. Appear to like maybe there's some movement like that streams into the far end of the bigger building.
I immediately call on to the group because I can't see in the darkness very well.
Yeah, and that's what's really holding you back here.
Yeah, and say, hey, anyone who can see in the dark, can you come over here?
I walk
Looking.
over.
Sure, buddy, oh pal.
Yeah, let's go.
Hannibal, roll a perception check.
You know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay. Perfect.
Great inspiration.
Ah,
that's
I mean,
that's actually
sure, a 19.
yeah, that's actually hilarious. Jericho, did you say you were also going to go look?
Yes.
Okay, roll a perception check as well. Okay. So first of all, Aelin, you're evaluating Morella, right? What would you like to do to try to like continue the evaluation or whatever?
Well, based on my check, would I know the degree at which she's being afflicted? The degree of which magic I should use?
Well, so it's not going to be. You don't think restoration here? It looks like maybe she just needs some healing, but it's all like internal magical damage. And she just looks like she's taken damage, but like nothing physical is appearing. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I'm trying to indicate to you in a non-narrative way or in a narrative way that she's lost hit point.
Yeah, no, okay.
So
And that's with a +3 as well.
yeah, so it's 15 total.
Okay.
So Hannibal, you gaze outside and your eyes can see slightly better. And you see down the darkened area where Obek was kind of directing you towards. You don't see anything. And your eyes kind of sweep the street, and then in the building directly across the street from you, you see maybe a shadow pass by the window. And you maybe hear like the faintest sound of like maybe something hitting the ground, like a plate breaking or something like that.
something's across the street.
And for you, Jericho, you grew up in this exact spot.
God damn it, is it Dwayne?
So you know in and out what the areas are, what the normal noises are. You could probably count the number of rats by the sound they make across the tin roof. In this particular hovel. And you very quickly you press your ear to the glass and you hear there are some sounds of some rumbling, maybe some crates moving over in the storage area, which still contains some storage. Obviously there's still some people that live in this area, but it's the sound of maybe things being ransacked in the large building just to the west of your little hovel.
What would that building be used for
So
normally?
it's a storage building that has an underground portion, like an underground larder, that supplies all of the taverns and stuff like that. It also doubles as a soup kitchen sometimes, because we're in the slums.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, you had for being a hovel, you had primo location.
Yeah, Primo Hovlich.
Yeah, primo hovelage.
Hey. I was a talented bard back before I got dragged into all of this.
It's true. True.
I think it
All
also
right,
it's
probably just people scavenging, but I can take a look if you want, or someone can while I talk to the boy.
I'll go.
Someone, please go with him.
I take out my tinderbox.
Yeah, and I think that as you say, someone please go with him, all of you hear a scream in the night. It kind of pierces the silence. And it sounds like a woman's very high-pitched scream coming from the direction of the soup kitchen area.
Do we need to go investigate that?
You just see Morella run out the door.
Oh, fuck, that chaser.
Yep.
Okay, Morella goes bursting out of the door.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm gonna delete the door.
And then I
Just delete that door.
kind of yell back, "Someone stay with the boy."
Okay. Let's see. Can you guys see anything you're not supposed to see?
What do you mean?
No. I haven't moved you yet. I have to reload and see if you guys can see anything I don't want you to see yet. Very, very important.
Can't you do Control L to see from
Yeah.
players?
I use that all the time.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't know if you were doing join in as like a player method.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
I did not know Control L was a thing. That's good.
Yeah,
for
so yeah, as a GM, if you click on a character token and then you hit Control L, you get their perspective.
Beautiful.
Yep, it's a super handy tool.
So you'll see you're all on a map right now.
Mhm.
And the scream came from this direction. You'll notice that this is the big soup kitchenist building that's over here to the left. This is Jericho's hovel. You can see the windows that kind of open up into different areas, and you can see inside different
Just
things.
like I imagined it.
Is it?
Oh,
Is
man,
it really?
I had 3 rooms.
You did have a third room, sir.
Oh shit!
You'll notice it was also the toilet, though. So
I mean, there's that, but it's a guest room.
yeah, absolutely.
Shit room, literally.
It needs its internal amenities.
Yep, 100%. So Morella, you go bursting out the door.
Yep.
So everybody has free available movement in this exact moment until I tell you to stop.
Wait.
Um,
We can see shit.
Okay, Hannibal, do you alert people to that?
They stay behind me. Careful. Bite things.
yeah. What?
Zombies or something. Wait, I know what that thing is. I fought it.
All right.
You can see things?
Yep.
I mean, Hannibal does have what the super dark
dark.
vision,
Hmm.
so he
Yeah,
probably
I-
can see a
I
little
point
farther.
to. Can I point to this building?
Yeah, sure. You do the silent point to that building.
Monsters.
What kind?
You hear the scream again. It comes from this direction.
Hannibal.
Full sprint.
Yep, full sprint away.
Alright.
So as you hit the wooden flooring of this area, everybody go ahead and stop right there.
Mhm.
Because coming into range of your vision, creature, and it kind of looks at you and kind of cocks its head to the side. You can tell it's got what looks like dried blood all over the bottom of its jaw and kind of running down its chest. And it kind of looks at you and cocks a head to the side. What's your immediate reaction?
Eldritch Blast.
That's gonna have to go.
I Eldritch Blast him.
Okay, you Eldritch Blast him.
Joel.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Now I would like you to roll, please.
Just for the sake of knowing what I do and don't have,
Oh,
I assume
you
I
meant
didn't take a
initiative.
short rest. Correct, Jordan?
No, you would not have had a short rest at this point.
You meant
Just making
initiative.
sure.
My bad.
All right.
I was
Obek
confused.
really likes the safety of this hovel at the moment. And the 3, massive helpers that might be in here.
Sorry, I thought you meant roll Eldritch Blast. Never mind.
Oh no, I did mean roll Eldritch Blast
Oh, okay.
as well as initiative.
Okay.
So do you want to knock it back 20 feet?
No,
No, you do not. Okay.
I don't want to knock it into the darkness.
Okay, I got it. All right. Allow me to begin rolling.
By the way, thanks for the heal.
is like, pretty warning. Have to mess around with it.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I gotta open all the character sheets because there's a lot of them.
Who are we gossiping about?
Jackson, why wouldn't we?
I mean, it's not like it makes any difference whether he can hear us or not.
True.
I don't know.
Alright.
I really like these meat shields.
Do you
They're
want
pretty
me
great.
to control Daniela because you have so many other things to do?
Yeah, no. If you want to control Daniela and
roll
and-
for her and stuff.
yeah, roll for her, and I think you still have
Actually hit
control.
things.
I think you still have control, Jericho, of the other two.
I do.
If you want to go ahead and do that as well, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, I mean, they were kind of left guarding Garulda.
Yeah, I was going to move them, but then Hannibal actually said something.
Make the right choice. Making choices.
Damn, Daniela. Well, okay then.
She likes to hang out with Obek. That's actually what's happening.
Yeah, she just all of a sudden,
I mean, who doesn't?
doesn't care at all about Aelin anymore. She's
Of
found a new
course.
boo.
Start descending. So Jericho, you get the jump. You see Hannibal blast this thing. It looks like its leg is probably broken, and like its arm is hanging limp next to it. It looks very damaged and probably like, is up against this pillar, kind of leaning heavily on it. And again, the screams are coming from this direction here.
Can I judge the distance?
The distance between you and that. I mean,
That's
it's
just screaming.
you've been inside of this place before. You know that there's a room right about here. Oh, I was about to move you. That's not what I do. There's a room right about here. There's a room here. There's a hallway, and then there's a room up here. You think it's this corner room all the way up here. So maybe
Okay.
in the
So
in the
where is
100,
the best
200.
entrance for me to try to get in there as quickly as I can?
The best entrance is to come right up through this hallway. There's a hallway that runs right here, like up and down
Okay.
this way. And obviously these are actually stairs that lead down, by the way, and that's a real thing. They actually lead down.
Do they lead down anywhere I would want to go?
They lead down into the larder where a lot of stuff is kept. But the screams were definitely from up top. But I'm just letting everybody know it's not just a visual effect.
Cool.
There
Okay.
is an actual underground here.
Well, I think, oh wow, right up into its face. I see. Okay, so I finished moving. I finished moving right in front of that, and the moment that I realized I had done that, there was a dramatic, like, blast of thunder and lightning outside.
Ambient.
I don't know if you know
not
this,
a good sign.
but I actually pay for the super premium pro account on Roll20 that actually puts ambient effects at your house.
Wonderful. Yes, very well done. That's totally worth the extra $5 a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was a dash, so that's as far as Jericho can get.
All right.
And he is not capable of engaging in murder with this thing because he was so focused on getting to the person screaming that he did not realize how close he was getting to it.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. Baron Mackay, it is your turn.
Okay. So I can move that much. And then for a bonus action, I can dash as well. And I can get up to here. So is this just a undead creature?
Yeah, it looks like an undead creature. It looks slightly more mobile and agile than like a zombie. But it's been hurt tremendously by Hannibal's barrage.
Sure. I think what's less creepy than a bleeding undead corpse that's laughing hysterically.
Doors. Okay, good. They weren't on the turn order. Fix that. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna roll that in 1 second. There we go. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, you cannot fix that for some reason.
There's just so many things on the turn order.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's at that.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm having
It
a ball.
succeeds. What does happen if it succeeds? Nothing.
I think no
Sad.
effect.
Nothing. It's a level 1 spell.
Right. No effect. So yeah, it doesn't appear amused, Farron.
Tough crowd.
It's all in the delivery.
Obek, it is your turn.
Really enjoying this house, but I mean, I'm really enjoying this house.
It'd be a shame to be carrying the spirit of the chosen of the gods and not ram it into as many enemies as you can.
Well, I can't really use it, so it's just kind of hanging on my back, being a placeholder. So I'm gonna move here and ready in action to attack anything that comes into my sight, because I can't see anything
Okay. With your bow.
with my bow.
Okay, cool. Hannibal, it's your turn.
Pachow, pachow. We'll shoot it first.
Okay, you're gonna shoot this guy right here.
Yep.
You easily kill it.
Then I'm going to begin my move forward. Here we go.
Okay. I am going to move some things. So, hearing these noises, let's go. Alert. To alert some beast. Seems like maybe one of these roving bands of undead I keep talking about in this area has come across the group of you.
What are the odds of that?
Pretty high. Pretty like 100%. So bursting out from around this corner, you see this nasty creature. And he sees you, Jericho, and is going to run at you. But he cannot do anything because that's a sprint for him.
Wonderful.
And that is it for the Aelin, Ash River, it is your turn.
Well, I'm kind of behind, so I'm just gonna dash, which puts me exactly at behind Morella. Boop. And now I can actually see shit. Okay.
It's a good feeling when people can see things.
I mean, not when these are the things that I'm looking at. But that's it. That's all I can do, sadly.
Okay. So, for some reason, none of you saw it. This guy moves up to there.
What? Oh, shit. What?
Line of sight.
I didn't fucking see him at all.
Line of
Oh.
sight.
It wasn't even
That
that.
tunnel vision, baby.
Didn't see him.
That's gonna be painful.
Nope.
Tunnel vision, oh boy.
It's just a ghast.
No big deal.
Yes,
Grr.
come closer to me.
Watch what will happen. They fucked with the wrong pair of sisters today.
I'm dashing around the corner. There's another one of those creatures. But wait.
There's more.
Da-da-da-da.
I was going with more of the Billy Mays.
Oh.
Oh, Beck, let me know if you can see anything.
I can now see.
Okay. Because I'm just moving all of the things because there's a lot of things.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I can see this thing
Okay.
barely.
Cool. Shoot at him.
Booyah!
Oh yeah, that's a
PP.
solid hit. So as this thing comes running at you, it comes running at Morella to like leap on your back, Morella, and you flip around and you see an arrow take it in the side from Obek.
Sweet.
But it's not down. It continues its charge towards you.
Okay.
Also, I have these guys now. These guys are pretty cool. And so, with all the commotion going on over here, they're gonna come see what all this is about. Cool. Yeah. Oh, and they just get to go again. Sweet. Now, move up. And these guys aren't quite as smart, so they're going to continue on with the original plan here. They'll act as our timer.
Done. I totally just forgot about that.
All right. What else? One. This one. This one. I think that's it. Oh. So one, I actually missed an attack on Aelin. So let me get that.
So she gonna get tagged.
So, yep, you totally get protection style here. Actually, I have to write something down for these guys. Let me just check on that real quick.
Finally, my fighting style is useful. It's great.
Style's always been useful.
You were saving lives in those fights before.
Yeah,
True.
absolutely.
That is true. But see, I picked it at like
Okay, it's going to attack with its claws.
level
at you.
8 and never got to use it till level 10.
Nope, definitely doesn't hit with a 6.
Well, there are a lot of nameless, faithless NPCs out there that will never meet again who owe their lives to you.
Correct. That brings us to Morella's turn.
So, as much as I totally want to just, stab this creature to oblivion, Morella can't see. She can't see that well. So, she is going to do damage.
Hey, cool. So you get 20 foot and 20 foot damage.
Torch vision, essentially. That's what I get.
You can see now.
Yay! I'm done.
Right?
Because I can't do my shield bat.
Kira
my shield
Malia?
bash in my action.
What are Kira and Malia gonna do?
So their knowledge of what's going on outside so far has largely been that Obek stepped outside and took a shot at something.
Right, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And if they look in on Garulda, any signs of activity or interest from him?
He's probably not awake yet, although maybe. He might be like stirring at this point.
Okay. I think Kira and Malia will probably at least move to the door so that they can keep an eye on what's going on out there.
Yeah, that seems reasonable for sure. Cool.
But yeah, they'll hold there, so I guess dodge for both of them.
Okay. And Daniela, what's Daniela gonna do?
I think she's going to be the stalwart protector
Kill the prisoner.
of the prisoner.
Yeah. Okay.
Although it's more in her mind of to kill him should he look suspicious.
Right. If it's
So-
if he starts turning into Garulda.
Right, exactly. So I think
Yeah.
she's going to stand exactly where she is, and ready an attack, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. That's good. So there is one more entity that comes marching down here. Big lumbering steps. That should update. And then he sees what's going on. Oh, Roll20 was having issues. Okay, good.
Yep.
See this guy with this big club come marching down. He sees the light from Morella now, and sees that his friends are engaging and starts to run. And comes into view, bellowing.
I mean, I can't see him, so sucks to suck.
Just sounds spooky.
It isn't a good sight, let me tell
That
you.
is large.
Well, give me a moment. I'll deal with things.
Jericho, it is your turn.
Fantastic. So I've got this thing up in my face, I've got more hideous things coming at us, and I've got that massive one that just caught my attention there.
Yep.
Jericho turns invisible.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's great because
You
Farron's
shit.
like, yeah, and then invisible, and Farron's like, fuck, I'm at the front again.
Every time.
Bah.
I'm trying to save someone.
So Jericho, what you see here?
bitch, that's what you're being.
Little bitch.
Please say that you say that as you see him go disappear. Stop being a bitch.
So these creatures here appear to be moving in the direction of all the noise. This creature right here, though, appears to be walking upwards, kind of
Oh,
shambling
great.
in that direction.
Shambling, that's always good. Well,
Anything else?
no, that's all the actions he's got.
All right, let's give you an
Turns
invisible.
invisible and continues moving.
Also, I apologize. I didn't even see the time. So perhaps that is a good place to take a break and come back next week.
With
mean,
Farron
we can
heckling
keep going.
Jericho.
Yeah, no, it's super appropriate. Jericho, visible, runs off. Farron's standing here with his rapier out, and the big nasty thing with claws, like that was going to grab Jericho, kind of like looks around and then just like looks at Farron, and its long tongue comes out, and then it.
Yeah, I'm a
begins.
dimension door out of this, by the way.
Bloody hell.
You can,
What?
for the record, don't like. You can take Farron with you if you dimension door, right? You're gonna do that.
I'm not going to.
Why
And-
not?
Boof on top of the roof.
Pretty much.
So it looks like it's just Morella and Aelin forever.
This is what we do. We deal with the undead. Let the cowards run away.
I guess this is
I'm
true.
not running away. I'm
Excuse
running
me.
toward. I'm rescuing someone. Hannibal's straight up running away. Farron is bravely and involuntarily holding the front lines.
Like he should.
Like what always happens.
I just like the thought that he's forced to be a frontline fighter. It's not a matter of he chooses to be. It's just that we all run up there with him and they just vanish. We got this together. I'm out.
I think
He's forever alone.
hilariously, I think that if I went back through all the episodes ever and counted damage, Farron has probably taken more damage than anyone else in this game.
He's also the only person to take one of the worst injuries ever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
did take a pretty nasty injury that one time.
Which unfortunately led to an entire plot thread involving Marvelous Chester ruining everyone's day.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
yeah, I think it's a
I
close
miss
tie between me.
Chester.
You motherfucker, you made me lose Puck.
So
Farron. If you
Uh,
hadn't got injured,
Chat
Farron.
says poor Farron. I agree.
Farron, if you hadn't gotten injured, Jester wouldn't have gone on his rampage, and I would still have Puck. So it's all your fault.
it's true. That was also
Obviously.
Farron's fault.
I'm not sure
I
about
also
that.
wouldn't have blown up a house.
Okay,
Let's-
that's definitely not true.
Okay, that might have happened either way.
Let's talk inspiration. Who do you
You
guys
would have
think
blown
deserves...
up a different house at a different time.
Correct.
It was not so matter of
inspiration, huh? I personally liked Aelin with her treatment
Yeah.
with
she fucking left us. Yeah, I'll go with
the
Aelin.
patients. 'Cause
Hannibal. Again, I still have it, which is stupid because I totally could have used it today, and I just didn't. Apparently, because I thought I didn't have it, but I do have it.
Okay, I'll vote for Morella because she definitely made a choice there.
Yeah,
That was interesting, yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I would agree with Morella too. It was if you didn't get it from the party, you're definitely gonna get it from me for sure.
okay.
So Morella, you get inspiration. Congratulations.
Yep.
Mine is going to one of mine is going to go to Jericho for
Already got it.
Well, okay. Then I'm going to give it to Hannibal for the role play with Doc Manic, who could become a powerful ally if you just let him. I mean,
you don't just kill him.
Yeah, he's
Untrue.
gonna give me a fucking face, guys.
There are other ways of solving problems like that.
No, there isn't.
Medieval orcish face transplant. I'm sure nothing could go wrong.
No, it won't.
You
Uh,
realize that
party
he's
at
going to
this party.
have like a fungal immune system. He's gonna be watching your like parts fall off of you and be like, "That's never happened before."
But I
Oh
don't
well, I'll get a new one.
beautiful while it's happening. See his face? We ripped it off an actor.
Yeah. Nope.
Stunning performance.
It just looks like a latex face pulled over a skull.
Yeah.
My other
But,
inspiration is going to go to Farron for his wonderful use. In fact, Obek, do you have it either?
I do.
Okay. Since you already have it, it's definitely going to go to Farron for the quick thinking bluff work to those guys who were going to accost you. I think that was super cool and deserves
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah. If Robert didn't have that, I would have definitely given that to him.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So next week, same great time, same great place. We'll figure out what happens with the roving band of undead you all are set up against. You could have just let her die, by the way, and nothing would have happened. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh fuck no, Morella would never
Obviously,
let
you
that
can
happen.
always do that.
I'm just letting everybody know you weren't forced to take this fight.
I knew
Yeah.
that. That's why I said don't.
Although, thank you for telling us that she's not already dead.
Correct, yeah.
Hey,
No, she's still screaming.
I mean,
Her son, on the other hand, that's maybe a different story.
Wow!
Her baby. son.
And I can prove right now there is actually two. There is a son and a mother back there, so you know.
The son is dead. No, the son's attacking the mother. The son is a baby. Got eaten by a zombie, became a zombie, is now trying to attack the mother. Boom.
You guys are awful.
Why are you giving him ideas?
You're awful, awful humans.
I gotta
So
go, guys.
we'll see
Bye.
everybody next week.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
All right, everybody. I'm glad you all could be here. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. It's been fantastic. Thank you all for coming out. This concludes episode 48 of Siege of the Empire. I'm glad you all could be here to spend it with me. Next week will be 49, and then after that 50, and we'll probably do something pretty significant for 50. I think for 50 there's going to be some significant event. I'll have to figure out what that is, though. So be sure not to miss that. Thank you all for being here. See you all next time.